Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, how you going? I'm in my boring work office at the moment. So sorry, it's just paperwork and boring stuff, not the lights and all that stuff.
There's not much exciting going on here. This is my bedroom.
Oh, you got it. Look, you got that big painting or something in the background. That's cool. You got,
Yeah, I got this weird bridge painting thing. Yeah.
Way more interesting than paperwork. But Mikaila, thanks for joining us on the show. How you feeling? You doing all right?
Yes. Thank you very much. Sorry if we had to move things and stuff like that.
It's okay. But you're okay now? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much better. I've been home for a week, just resting and stuff like that. It was a surprise. I just got I got very, very sick in the UK, and I was like, I'll be fine. It would be absolutely fine. I was sick for days and got to a point where I couldn't stay awake. And then everyone was like, you need to see a doctor. And it was like, the doctor was like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was just okay. And I went to the hospital and you are not leaving. And I was like, oh, good. And so then it was as soon as I was out of the hospital, I was like, I'm going home. I got to go home.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you haven't been well, but you got this EP coming out very soon on July 15th, though. And that's a bit of positive, I got to say, because it kicks ass, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an absolute banger. It's ridiculously catchy, that's for sure. And, the response to the songs that have dropped already have just been incredible. Super positive.
Yeah, it's been really nice because I guess we put out an album during the pandemic, and it was kind of hard to gauge kind of how those songs were going with people, if they liked it. All I could read was comments on the internet. So it's been nice to be able to actually be able to talk to people and see people actually come and watch songs live. So I'm feeling a little bit different about it this time. I'm feeling a bit more positive.
Yeah, awesome. Did you get to jam on some of these songs live?
So we've played, the only songs we've played live are the ones that have been out. So actually we've, Hallucinate, and we played Hallucinate 4 times in the UK. We had to play Lights On quite a lot. And we've been playing Walk Over My Grave, since the end of last year. So we've been really lucky to be able to play those songs live.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Well, of course, how was it writing these songs over the last couple of years? Do the seeds of these go back to self-care? How far back do they go?
So Bruises was the first song that we wrote after self-care, and we wrote it not long after self-care came out. And actually the melody for Walk Over My Grave, the verses, is actually a melody that I wrote for self-care, but it just it just never fit in anything. And I'm glad that we used it for this song, because I just kept singing that melody of the verse, and then I think it just needed something that was a little bit heavier, a little bit darker. Not that we're heavy or anything like that, but it was just something that was had a little bit more power to it than kind of what we were doing in self-care. So I think it fits a lot more for that song. Yeah,
awesome. In regards to the title and the lyrical concepts on it, how does it all tie together?
So this EP is a lot of internal questions. Whereas I feel the last record that we did was kind of a lot of speaking about relationships, speaking about speaking a lot about how your place in the world kind of thing with other people, and whereas this EP is a bit more how I see myself. It's a bit more of a self-reflection thing, which is why we called it Is This What I Look Like? Because a lot of the songs kind of go around this concept of who am I without music? Who am I without, having all that taken away? Obviously all of our lives were taken away from us. And I really struggled with my own identity of I am nothing without this. Like, you know, like that's kind of how I felt. Like I felt very, very bad about it. I didn't know if it was ever going to go back. And it was almost kind of like I had lost myself in like the just like how chaotic and how busy my life was. And then I started thinking to myself, I even just realizing that, you know, people look at you on social media and they have this perception of you and how everything is about, you know, having like, you know, making yourself be perceived to people in a certain way. And then me just also being like, do I know myself? Because I'm putting myself out to people in a way that like I probably aren't, like I'm probably not. And like, yeah, so, and then people thinking that they know everything about your life because you showed them what you showed them, but it's not real, really. So I think that this EP was kind of me reintroducing myself to myself in a way that was not fun, but it had to happen, and kind of me almost reintroducing myself to the people who listen to my music.
Would you feel like you learnt about yourself in a lot of ways, reflecting on some of those songs? You know, did a lot sort of come to light for you, and do you feel sort of better about those things now moving forward?
Yeah, I think the main thing was that I put a lot of my self-worth on my career and like this band, and that I like my own identity was I was Mikaila from Yours Truly. And as that's not like, it's not something to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like no one cares. But like to me, like it was everything to me. Like that was like, because I have been in this band for so long and I didn't really have anything else. And I had focused so much of my time on it that I kind of didn't really know what I was without it. And I was thinking to myself, like, there was like these conversations of what am I going to do next? And like, what am I going to do if I can't do this anymore? Like, how am I going to reinvent my life? And it was really hard to remove myself from that, because I kind of felt like if I didn't have that, then like I didn't matter. People didn't like me. I wasn't important anymore. I wasn't talented. I wasn't a good singer. I wasn't a good musician. Like there were all these things that like, you know, that like people, you know, like people weren't with my friend, you know what I mean? Like there was all these things that I really struggled with. And I think the thing that I've learned from it now is like, I'm not like that's not true. Like I'm, you know, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, you know, like there are all these other things in my life that I am, and that I have interests and stuff that don't have to do with music. And that I know that like I have a personality. It's not just like, I'm not just a person in a band, like, you know, but I felt like, it's almost like, I feel like everyone in the universe wanted a break, and we almost manifested this really horrible break. And that was the only way we'll get one. And I think that, you know, as horrible as it felt, I think that like I needed a few reality checks, and I definitely got them.
I've been through something very, very similar of late, and through all that. So it's totally relatable what you're saying. You know, it's like, you know, I think a lot of people sort of came through all that realizing that they're more than their jobs or, you know, what they do. It's, you know, and I think that's, you know, that is definitely a positive, you know, and I feel for those people that are still sort of going through that, and hopefully they find their way.
I definitely hope so. And I think that that's kind of why I want to write about it, because I feel like music's really cool, because, you know, it's a way of relating to people, or almost like listening to music and not even realizing that, like, I love listening to music and being like, oh my God, this song, like, that is me. Like, that's exactly what I'm going through, because like, there's something about that that's so empowering. And like, I hope people that they are going through it, that they can hear these songs and just be like, I don't know, just find something beautiful about being able to relate.
100%. And you know what? Talking about vocally, it's probably one of the best recorded performances that I've heard on a record in a really long time. Like, man, like so much power and so much passion in your voice. Like it's really, really good, man.
Thank you. I like it. It felt amazing. Like to be able to sing these songs, like there was like a lot of power, a lot of frustration, a lot of, you know, like, and it was really fun to be able to be like, I remember being in the studio with Stevie, especially like during songs like Hallucinate and like Walk Over My Grave. And he was like, just push, he's like almost just scream. Like, there are like, if you go through the stems of the songs, there are like really quiet and they're like distorted a little bit, but there's literally me just screaming the lyrics. Like, I don't like just literally shouting them, screaming them really high pitch, and me just like literally just like, it was felt good to be able to like, you know, like you want to scream.
Yeah.
You know, obviously like you're in a house with people, so you can't scream. But like, it was like, I got to scream these things that I had written in a booth, and then we put some things on them, made them sound like a little demon kind of thing. But like, it felt amazing to do that. And I felt that, it allowed me to kind of give it that little bit more, because the songs were a little bit darker and it felt right.
And you got some guests on here too, like Drew York and Yumi at 6. How did that come about? It's really cool.
So with Drew, he posted this thing on Instagram and he was like, anyone want to collab? And so I just said yes. And then I sent him bruises, and he was like, and he sent me a demo the next day, and then it was like, yeah, I love it. And he was like, and thing was, I sent it to him because I picked bruises because I was like, I feel like someone needs to like do something screamy here kind of thing. And then he sends me back this demo and he's singing. I was like, I was not expecting that, but I absolutely love it. So we're keeping it kind of thing. Like, it's cool when you work with people, you don't really know what you're going to get. And it definitely wasn't what I thought I was going to get, but it's what the song needed kind of thing. Like, it feels right. So yeah, he was really awesome to work with. And Josh, we also like just asked and he said yes. And it wasn't something that we thought was going to happen. It was one of those things where like, we'll just ask and see, like, he can just say no, but like be funny. Like, you know, like would have asked. And then he said yes. And then all of a sudden, like, I was working with him like in person, like, and watching him sing a song that I wrote, which was like a big like pinch me moment. But no, they were both like really, really great to work with, really easy to work with, and they're both really awesome people.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool. And what I mean, in regards to your voice, I mean, how far back does it go for you? When did you first discover that you had that voice? I call it the Peter Parker moment. You know, when you discover your superpowers. Like, I remember the moment that I was like, oh, I want to do this thing. Do you remember yours?
I can like the furthest I can think back was being like young. I would say maybe like primary school age, and like making up songs and singing them in the mirror, like kind of thing. And then my mum being like, maybe we should put you. I was dancing, and I have a connective tissue disorder, so dancing was not for me. Like, you know, people being like, put your hands up, and then my arm just being like, cool, like, you know, like, and then like, put your arm straight, put your legs straight, and me being like, I physically can't do that. So my mum was like, maybe you won't do dancing anymore and put you in singing, because you sing in the house all the time. And then I remember going and doing this singing lesson, being like, I absolutely hated that. Like, I don't want to learn about theory. I don't want to learn about the notes and the scales. Like, I don't care. And then I remember being like really stubborn with it, but just still kind of like singing around like the house and like singing like at every school talent show. And then when I got a little bit older, I found a singing teacher. I think I was 10, found a singing teacher that he came from a rock background.
Oh, wow.
I went in there and I said to him, what do we want to sing? I said, I want to sing Paramore. And then he was like, you're 10 years old and you want to sing Paramore? And I said, yes. And then he was like, I love this. Like, let's go. And he started showing me bands and like, you know, showing me like, you know, then he's like started learning how to play guitar and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely, I think that was when I started working with him. And then like, he was like, he kind of gave me that confidence to be like, oh, like maybe I am going to be good at this kind of thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I've got to wrap this up in a sec, but I just wanted to know, can we expect some sneaky shows coming up around the country sometime soon? See you back here in Queensland, my friend.
We're actually doing 3 shows in Queensland. I don't know where you are, but we're doing Maroochydore, Brisbane, and Gold Coast in November, December.
Ah, I'm on the Goldie.
Yeah, on the Gold Coast. Amazing. Well, if you want to come, let me know. And I'll
sort of... Vinny's or Mo's?
Vinny's.
Ah, cool. Awesome.
Yeah. I've never played the Gold Coast before, so we'll see.
Really?
I'm a bit like, I'm like, I know like Maroochydore and like Brisbane and Gold Coast are not that, like I have family live in Caloundra inland. And I'm like, going to Brisbane isn't that far. Like, but we'll see how we go. Like,
it's a bit of a trek compared.
I'm from Sydney, everything takes an hour. No, yeah. So we've got that tour at the end of the year. So
yes.
Yeah, but I wish I could do something sooner. I was supposed to come back and play Full Tilt, but that's not happening
Yes.
anymore. So yeah.
Well, we will definitely see you then. But in the meantime, we'll have all the links down here for the new EP. This I'm getting all mixed up here. Is this what I look like? July 15. Mikaila, thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you very soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate.